Alright guys, I have come to the beautiful Powerscourt House and Gardens. It's a bit of a family visit, but what I'll do is I'll actually explain a concept today that I think will be helpful for a lot of the younger viewers that are trying to get on the property ladder. Now, I had my event yesterday, the Investor Summit as I call it, and we had a young guy, Kieran was his name, 19 years of age, mad keen to know about property and how to get on the property ladder. And so we had a bit of a chat about it, and we started talking about possible strategies that you could adopt in order to get on the property ladder. As difficult as that sounds, as expensive as property is, there are ways to do it. And so let's get into that here today on this video. World famous gardens, by the way. That there is the sugar loaf.
Look, something.
Alright, I have come to beautiful Powerscourt House and Gardens to talk about buying your first house or investment property. Now, there is, in Ireland, it's become really difficult for people to do this because prices have gotten so high. And we had my Investor Summit event yesterday, and we were talking about this, and one of the guys was just talking about the strategy he used, which really did make a lot of sense, and I think it's accessible for a lot of people. So rather than, a lot of people will want to buy their first investment property and start collecting rent, but it's very, very difficult to go about raising that money because the banks insist on 30% down payment on an investment property, whereas if you're buying a property for yourself as your home, you only have to put down 10% and the banks will lend you 90%. So that's the first bit of a hack, is to do that. The second thing is, now coming to getting that 10% together, obviously, can be a bit of a challenge for a lot of people, but you got to work hard to get that piece down. That is kind of difficult to avoid. Now, the first time buyer's grant, and there's various things out there that people can get access to if they're eligible, and that is obviously something to consider. The next thing though is if you're currently renting a place, then you're paying out a huge amount of rent, and that is financially difficult to kind of maintain. And to try to do that and at the same time raise money for that deposit is obviously really difficult. So the first property is the toughest one to get a hold of, because you got to get through that renting a property and saving up the money at the same time. Now, there will be people who are listening who maybe live at home with their parents or something. That's obviously a bit of an advantage. If you don't have that rent to contribute every month, then you're going to make it's going to be easier. But those of you, once you do find a property, once you can get that 10% down and you borrow the other 90%, then what you've got to do is move into the property and rent it out. My kids are here shouting at me. You try to rent that property out on a room by room basis, and you live in one of the rooms. So you effectively become one of your own tenants. But if you're renting out a house on a full house basis, this is not a viable option. But what you can do is what we talk about as in the HMO strategy, and that is to split the house up into rooms and rent out each room individually. And so let's say instead of getting $2,000 a month from a family renting the house, you go and buy this house, and the other person who's living with you pays $750 a month, and then somebody else pays $750, and you can be in a situation where maybe you're collecting $3,000 or $3,750 a month in income you could effectively pay your mortgage and collect that extra money to do so. You're not paying rent, you're not now having to pay a mortgage, and so you can actually amplify your savings much quicker. In addition to that, there is a big saving. In Ireland, we have if you rent out a room in your house, the first 14,000, I think it is, you're entitled to earn that completely tax-free. And so it means, obviously, if you're earning above that, you're going to have to pay tax on it. But this is definitely an option that you guys should be considering. Now, what do you buy? Do you buy a house? Do you buy an apartment? I would always guide people towards buying a house. And the reason I say that is because if you do start saving up money, you're going to get to the point where maybe you want to refurbish or extend the house. If you're buying an apartment, there's very little room to do that, very little scope to do that. Whereas with a house, you've got a garden. You can perhaps extend out into the garden. Introducing my wife, Ilga. These are the Japanese gardens. Check them out. Quick voiceover, just because the audio was bad here in this video. The 10% versus 30% is a huge thing, right? Apply for a mortgage as a homeowner as opposed to a property investor, and they'll only require 10% down versus 30%. Then if you rent out all the rooms, you'll be able to keep one for yourself and live rent free, but the other rooms will cover your mortgage. And then if you go for the rent a room relief, that's a tax saving scheme. You won't have to pay tax on 14 grand earned from renting out those rooms. And then just make sure you save every penny of that extra money that you're now earning and plow it in, and in no time you'll be buying your second property. All right guys, back to the video. Alright guys, let's wrap up this video. So the bottom line is getting your first property. It's like they say about the first 10 million, you know, the first 10 million is the hardest. The first 100,000 subscribers, that's the hardest. So guys, hit the subscribe button, make my little girl happy. Kids would love me to have a silver play button. So you know what to do, click below.
Please like and subscribe.
I'm going to say like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe to my dad.
Help my dad get to a silver play button. 100,000 subscribers. Go for it. Hey, look, it's following me. Alright guys, that's the video. Let us bring it to a close. See you in the next one.